Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play ChäoS Head. And in the last episode, Takumi was busy fixing up his PC settings when he discovered a curious email, supposedly sent from Nanami, although that was a lie. It was in fact sent by none other than Shogun, who commented on Ayase's rescue and has now raised the stakes by dragging Nanami Nishijo into the thick of things. Panicking, Takumi tried to ring Nanami's cell phone, only to have this rather bizarre tonal melody playing ominously in his home base. I think we all know whose phone this is, but given the fact that we went through reality and then a negative delusion, let's think positive. We have to think positive in this situation, so green it is. Probably not the time for a pleasant daydream, but anything is better to try and alleviate the reality that is definitely going to await us. In terms of the timing, no matter how I thought about it, I shook my head. I'd never heard Nanami's ringtone, so there was no evidence that this melody belonged to Nanami's phone. Who knows, it might be Rimi's phone. But then again, we tried calling Nanami's phone and this ringtone happened. Frightened, I put my phone back to my ear one more time. And it's been a long time since we've seen this transition. Nanami still didn't pick up. Please hurry up and answer. Connected.
Nanami! Nanami! Nanami でしょ? 返事しろよ。今どこにいるんだ?
And curiously, the ringing has stopped. Getting a bad feeling about this.
大丈夫なの? 何か言って。Nanami! Nanami!
実は。
Huh? Something about this was strange. Like I was hearing Nanami's voice not merely from the phone, but also from close by me.
お前、一体どこにいるんだ? 上?
I looked up without giving much thought to it. I saw a human figure moving on top of the bed, wriggling in that narrow space, sending my mountains of piled up eroge boxes tumbling. Surely not.
そこにいるの?
見つかっちゃった。
Just as I thought, the one who poked her head up with an apologetic expression on her face was Nanami. Could it be that she'd been hiding? Since when?
何がてへだよ。それより車椅子の怪しいやつに会わなかったか?
I scrutinized Nanami all over as she descended from the bed, attempting to determine whether there were any abnormalities with her.
鬼、ちょっと落ち着いてってば。
I think now is actually the perfect time to panic, but I digress.
聞いてるんだ、答えろよ、お前。本当に大丈夫なのか?
それって、将軍のことだよね。
Now that's ominous. How does Nanami Nishijo know about Shogun?
まさか、あったのか? どこで何をされた?
I grabbed Nanami's shoulders and desperately pressed her for a response. Damn it, Nanami was an impudent little sister, but it'd be my fault if Shogun turned her into spoiled goods. I want to check your phrasing there. Shogun had gotten his hands on Nanami as a way of provoking me. Nanami had been caught up in my mess. Hell of a time for you to be concerned about your little sister at this point. I'll take it.
ごめん。
I wept at how pathetic I was. I caused trouble not merely for myself, but also for those around me. A harmless otaku, my ass. I was scum. I was garbage as a human being, not to mention as a brother.
お兄、泣いてるの？もしかして、ナナのことを心配してくれて
I'll let you decide that.
ごめん。僕のせいで。
る？泣かないでよ。困ったな。実は、あの将軍のメール、ナナのいたずら、なんだ。
There are actual discrepancies with that line of logic.
は？
I didn't understand what Nanami was saying. I became dazed.
つまり、将軍ってナナだったの、最初からずっと。お兄があまりにもナナの相手してくれないから、ちょっとからかうつもりで、つい。だからね、ナナは誰にも何にもされてないし、全くピンピンしてるよ。お兄が泣くことなんてないの、わかった？
お前。
I was relieved. Even his knowledge of her deception made me think how ridiculous they would fuck around with me. Being reassured made even bigger tears come spilling out of me.
ふざけんなよ。
ごめん、本当にごめんね、お兄。差し入れ持ってきたから、それで許して。
Holding up a hand in supplication as she apologized to me, Nanami cheerfully brought out a paperboard box out from where I'd been hiding in a corner of the room. Inside it were 4 little cakes, 2 Mont Blancs and 2 cheesecakes.
どう？美味しそうでしょ？まあ、当然だよね。ナナの手作りだもん。お兄のために作ったんだからね。ほら、一緒に食べよう。
Nanami set the box on the top of my computer desk and put 2 cakes each on 2 paper plates, which she prepared somehow or other.
ねえお兄、ナナのこと心配してくれてありがとう。すごく嬉しかった。お兄にもいいところあるじゃん。泣いちゃったのはちょっと情けなかったけどね。
Shut up, you little liar. My pride had gone to tatters from how I'd been totally fooled and shed tears to boot. What an idiot I was.
でも、お兄がナナのお兄でよかった。
She smiled at me merrily. A scene that was just a wee bit more peaceful than usual. How nice it would have been if this were the scene that came next. But it isn't. Yeah, there were too many discrepancies with Nanami's tale there. Right. It amounted to no more than a convenient delusion of mine. And unlike Ayase and the flower bed, that one isn't going to be coming true anytime soon. Even now, Nanami still hadn't answered the phone, and someone's ringtone kept reverberating throughout the room. An airhead melody that stood out in stark contrast to my psychological state. My mood verged on despair. I think this is the present that Shogun was surreptitiously hinting to us about. This had to signify that Nanami's cell phone was in my room. And she didn't leave it here by accident or on purpose. I couldn't think of any other alternatives. I could no longer avert my eyes from reality. P.S. Have you accepted my present? It was a lie. It was a categorical lie. No matter what, it was simply too ridiculous. If only we could believe that as well. I lowered the hand holding my phone at a snail's pace. And it's not going to voicemail either. It's still ringing. I couldn't do as much as blink. My throat was achingly dry. Even so, I sought out the sound's origin. This time, I slowly moved my eyes across each of the items strewn around in this room. I savagely detested myself for never having attempted to tidy up my room, and a thought has just occurred to me. Since Nanami's cell phone is the quote-unquote present, it means that Shogun not only knows exactly where Takumi lives, but has visited this place himself. Oh dear. If I kept it organized, I'd soon have known where I was hearing it from. I think we might have actually gotten a hint during that little pleasant illusion. Where the hell was the sound coming from? This box. Ah, the cardboard box, except that this time, I don't think there's gonna be cakes inside, Takumi. I heard the melody from inside it, and sadly it's not marked, but then again, couldn't expect anything less or more. It was about the size of 2 Roger boxes lined up next to one another. I thought it was a box from an online purchase, but there was no flyer or anything to go with it, nor was there an invoice mentioning the sender. But it was firmly sealed with packing tape. Had there always been a box this large sitting over here? Had it fallen off my bed in the earthquake? I doubt it.
いや
And so should you. I'd never seen this box before to begin with. If it were something I'd ordered, I'd have opened it as soon as it arrived. If it were an auction item, I'd have sent it off as soon as I taped it closed. It occurred to me that perhaps Nanami had brought something for me in it, but I had no recollection of her carrying a present over in a cardboard box like this. That's because she didn't. In short, during the time span of the hour when I'd gone to school, someone had come here with this box. The pulse in my chest grew violent. I hastily double-checked the padlock on my door. A chill ran down my back. Earlier, when I'd staggered out of my base, I couldn't remember having locked the door behind me. And in that time, this box arrived. Which was natural enough, because at the time I'd been tormented by a stabbing migraine, and my consciousness was hazy. The timing couldn't be worse. When I returned from school an hour later, the door had been unlocked. Anyone would have been free to enter. Had Shogun come? Here? Indeed he did. I looked at the box again. The melody continued ringing. Nanami's cell phone was inside it. I gingerly picked up that cardboard box. Heavy. Far too heavy for me to think that a cell phone was the one thing inside it. So something else is inside the box along with the cell phone. Going by what it felt like, it was about the same as a 500ml juice container, although I doubt Shogun would be so kind as to send juice in a box. I hesitated to open it. I had An incredibly bad feeling.
こんなの開きたくないよ。
Unfortunately, we have no choice. Because if we don't open it, then we can't find out where Nanami is. But I couldn't come up with any way to deal with it other than opening it. Besides, I was worried about Nanami. She was an impudent little sister, but she was my little sister all the same. Nanami's cell phone was inside here. And Takumi's heart is racing wildly. Or to put it differently, someone had taken Nanami's cell phone away from her. Let's start the Nanami-chan rescue quest. So Shogun had written in his email. I looked at the clock. It was 7:30. Another hour and a half left until the designated time. Nanami might be in danger. Might be? That's too much hope. I had no choice but to open it. A moment of truth. My pulse went slow. Sweat poured heavily from my forehead. I wiped that sweat with the back of my hand, and groaning, began peeling off the packing tape stuck to the box.
嫌だ、嫌だ、嫌だ、嫌だ、嫌だ、嫌だ、嫌だ、嫌だ、嫌だ、嫌だ、嫌だ、嫌だ。
Muttering to myself as though praying, I opened the top flaps. Here we go. Inside there was a lump wrapped in aluminum foil. I think it's supposed to be aluminium. I always call it aluminium and never aluminum. Who calls it aluminum? Seriously. But anyway, round to side, styrofoam peanuts, packing peanuts, were neatly stuffed in there alongside it. I peeked in timidly, but I couldn't spot a phone. Yet the ringing continues. I heard the melody from inside the lump of aluminium foil. I'm not calling it. Never mind. Sweat entered my eyes, making them sting. My whole body had gotten soaked in sweat without my knowing it. I had enough. Why was I the only one who had to end up like this? I was on the verge of voicing my gripes, unhelpful though that may be. I saw words of deliverance from Serotan, but she wouldn't say anything to me. She is just a figurine on a table next to a computer. A whole range of delusions were swirling round in my head on the brink of exploding, to the point that I couldn't have imaginary conversations with Serotan. Not that that would help. The heightening of my emotions made my nerve endings seem about to burn apart. The cell phone's carefree melody mercilessly urged me on.
あげるぞ。
Something tells me that we're going to regret this, but we have no choice. Bracing myself, I pinched the edges of the aluminium foil in my fingers. Closed my eyes, held my breath, and ripped all the aluminium foil off at once. You can hear the melody clearly. I heard the melody more clearly now. That is definitely Nanami's cell phone. I was afraid to open my eyes, but we must. We have no choice. We have to. I strove to collect my breathing. It didn't go well at all. It'll be okay. It was fine. There's nothing bad there. We're not having any delusions, neither good nor bad. It was probably a prank by Nanami anyway. But I doubt that, given the email. No doubt Nanami would come into the room sooner or later, saying, "Yay, I got you," with a smile. I have every reason to doubt that. Yeah, that had to be it. I couldn't consider anything else. But as I said before, we must. If so, I'd scold her with all my might, and I'd never listen to a thing she said again. I know I'm dragging this out for the suspense, but I don't care. Right. Tell me that's how it is, Nanami. Here we go. I couldn't stand to close my eyes and keep on gazing at darkness any longer. Being unable to see it had the opposite effect of making me envision awful delusions. Dragging this out even further. Still dragging it on. Still having the tension and suspense. Alright, no kidding around this time, Takumi. Open thine eyes and observe the truth. Which was why I softly opened my eyelids. I saw it. What lay there was a hand. A slender, cleanly severed hand. It held the same cellphone model as mine. On its wrist, it wore...
へえ、かわいいバングルじゃん。じゃあさ、これナナにちょうだい。ひひ、お兄、どう？似合う？
But that was no delusion. Don't be fooled by that transition. That was no delusion. We are in some very serious trouble here, adventurers. And
ここからは
conveniently,
少し専門的な話になりますが、
the three conspirators over at Nozomi are about to raise their plan to the next level. So when we return, adventurers, we shall learn more about the schemes they have been hatching in Shibuya thus far. And ultimately, we'll have no choice but to start the Nanami-chan rescue quest. And unfortunately for Takumi, we're starting off with a very, very serious handicap indeed. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.